So Diamond 3 Mojo reminder. Basically, as Venture, you want to pretend to be a combination of Brig and Junkrat. You want to find a little room that people don't want you in because you could theoretically hit someone, and then you don't want to actually bother hitting them. You just want to shoot near people so that they're like, oh, I can't leave Venture or I could get hit.
Gotcha.
So if anyone's shooting at you, leave. Don't shoot at anyone who's shooting back. Be full health all the time, like the standard DPS stuff. But you see how, like we were doing a normal fight, and I dashed over here just because no one was at this angle. So now everyone who wants to be looking at my almost dead Rhine, this is the savior tank, you know, play, right? Saw a not full health Venture use an ability and be in a position that they can surround. So they're like Overwatch players, I don't know at all ranks, but at this rank, got to this rank by learning how to punish mistakes. So all you have to do to get their attention is make an obvious mistake, and then actually it wasn't a mistake, and then they'll all stop shooting the 20% health rank. So you see Zen, Hanzo, Mercy, and McCree right now are all looking at me. This is, let's see, Mercy. Mercy's looking right at Helby. And Zen's not, but I'm about to pop up under Zen and threaten to kill Zen, so Zen will start looking at me in a sec. And this is Hanzo, and this is McCree. Tank doesn't care about me, but this basically isolates the tank. No one's going to heal the tank. He's got the Zen orb, but Mercy's busy. And importantly, I don't even pop up under the Zen. I just threaten to. So everyone has to look at me because I could kill the Zen in 1 second if I pop up under the Zen. And then I do a second dash to stay at full health. So yeah, start with your tank because you don't want to miss the fight. You want to make sure the tank's actually in it before you do it. Now the tank's in it. Tank's at half health. So once the tank's at half health, you dash into the open, because people always look if you dash into the open. And then you burrow, and you can't leave burrow unless you have full tank. So I go over here, leave burrow, I'm not doing anything. The longer you fully exit, the more likely you are to be able to get a like an easy assassination, so Zen dies instantly. And then people aren't looking at me, so they have to die. Ta-da. So like, you only kill people who are so focused on something else, they're not going to shoot back. And if people are ignoring you, you have to kill them. And yeah, that's basically it. So think of where I'm allowed to be unburrowed as only places that would make sense for a Junkrat. Little rooms. So you want to find a room that's within range of an enemy. And then just go there and be like, hey, you guys really don't want me in this room, do you? Of course they don't. So they're not even going to participate in the fight until I'm out of this room. They're like, hey, we need you out of this room. And then you're like, I mean, okay, I'm out of this room. And now they're like, we're not interested in the game until this Venture pops up because it's an easy kill. If like the Venture's obviously making a mistake, we should punish this mistake. The healer's nowhere nearby. Venture's going to die, right? Whoop. Mercy's looking at me. Moira's looking at me. Sojourn is aware of me. McCree is looking right at me. And their tank is engaging my team. So this is, again, a 1v4. Their tank is like, I don't care about that Venture stuff. I'm going to do my thing. And that's, yeah, that's it. I'm going to use a second dash. They didn't expect me to even have a second dash. So I just walk away. Full health. Nobody even gets a shot at me. And during that time, their Ramatra used a bunch of abilities to benefit only himself, not his team, because his team was busy. So now, again, I dashed far enough away, all my cooldowns are back. I waited long enough so that all my cooldowns are back, and then I re-enter when they're shooting at my team. And the rule is you have to be somewhere ridiculously safe, like in a room, if you're going to be unburrowed and shooting at people. So the Moira forced me to come out of the room, so that means I have to burrow and find a new one. Hi guys, everybody look at me. Oop, never mind. To this room, right? You need hard cover anytime you're gonna fire your weapon. And now this light's
Ancient history.
So we assume the next fight's going to happen with this yellow truck. We need to find very hard cover with an easy retreat path at an angle that my team is not already taking within range of this yellow truck. But I didn't do that because Ryan just ulted. So say, hey, nobody shoot at my Ryan. That's another thing. Whenever Genji ults or Ryan ults or Soldier ults, dash into open space. Like, because people see a dash into open space as a mistake and they'll look. And when someone's ulting, you don't want them to look at the person who's ulting. You want them to look. It's just like, I don't know, it's chaos. It just causes chaos. The same deal. There's a totally unsafe room to be in, but I'm venturing. Like, it's overtime, there's ults going off, the fight is happening, and McCree's backing up to shoot at me, and whoever this other person is, maybe Moira? Yeah, Moira and McCree are just like, I'm not going to participate in that fight because there's someone I can't do damage to in my face. And they're like, finally I can, never mind, it's overtime. So Moira chases me to the room, doesn't participate in the fight, has to use Fade just to get to the fight before overtime. Does nothing but throw a ball. And then the fight is already over by the time she gets there. And then obviously they have to ignore me, and when they ignore me, I get to do damage. Right? It's a back and forth. Hey, I'm in a room you don't want me in. Pay attention. Pay attention. Thank you. You paid attention. Now I'm gonna go pretend that I'm gonna engage because you paid attention to me. That'll keep your attention. And then, now that I've held your attention long enough, I'm gonna finish my burrow somewhere safe, fully disengaged. And then you're gonna stop paying attention. And then I'm gonna come back and do a bunch of damage because you're not paying attention. And then I'm gonna go in a little room and say, hey, pay attention. You know, it's just a repeat, repeat, repeat. That's the cycle. So the important part of the cycle, like the thing that I keep messing up is because, you know, I go to sleep and I wake up and I come back the next day and then I'm suddenly losing. And the thing that's making me lose is I keep shooting at people before I get to a room they want to push me out of and force them to push me out. Forcing them to push you out of a room is more valuable than killing someone. It's more valuable than shooting at someone. If you're going to climb beyond the rank at which you can win duels, you can only do that through other methods besides dueling. Like, I didn't get here by shooting at people. I shouldn't be shooting at people. Because taking two people out of the fight is gotcha. As long as it's at the perfect time. Alright, so you always start with your tank because otherwise you die. Now, it's important, I heard a Genji. So I'm going to do the same loop, but because they have either a Lucio or a Genji or a Doomfist or a Pharah or a Widow or somebody who can punish me, right? The normal loop is, I'm in a room, you want to push me out. Haha, you push me out, now I'm in the open, you want to punish me for being in the open. Oh, I'm back in a room, right? That's the normal loop. But you can only do that if they're slow and they can't push you out. If they have speed, like Genji or Lucio or whatever, you do the, I'm in a room, you want to push me out. Haha, I'm in the open, and now I'm standing on my tank. The final retreat has to be either standing on a healer or standing on your tank, because otherwise they'll just use their speed to punish you. So I'm going to try to get an angle that's as far away from that tracer on the left as I can, that's hopefully close to my tank but not stacked on my tank. Once they push me out, they got me low, they got my tank low, one of those two things. They've pushed me out. Now I go out into the open, and I try to bait attention. Hey, I'm out in the open, you should punish me. As soon as I come up, I have to go back to my tank and my healers. So I'm back to safety, right? The same loop, but it's less effective because it's closer to safety. And often, even though I got safety, you die because they have a Genji and Moira. Oh. It still works, it's just not as good. Most games you'll start off insanely valuable, and then they'll switch to speed guns to try to stop you. And then you're still quite valuable. So start with the tank, find an angle that makes it so they can either look at me or look at my tank. People don't like getting hit by things if they can't see the things. So it just kind of forces them out of positions. Again, shoot some people in the back so that they have to either look at my tank or look at me. I get a kill and then they look at me, and so I didn't dash to safety. I dashed into the open to hold the attention that I'd gotten, and then I dashed to safety. Right?
I thought it was about
This is just like staggering. They already lost the fight. Now it's even. So our rank has to ult.
we're outnumbered.
Ult makes it no longer even, but if you have a tank, you know, it's just a dying point sort of thing, or 3v3. And like we can win a 3v3 if I get off point, but I'd rather make sure we keep them. So once I get low enough, they'll hold me out. Tracer touches, just got a point, it's down 44. Whoop! Just making sure we're close to the point. Still winnable, but they threw an ult. And we're up to like 70%. So the die on point playstyle, I'm trying to get as little attention as possible, but I can't go to a little room like I want to because of something. When the enemy team plays compositions like Pharah Widow, or like Junkrat Genji, or just like Lucy or Ryan, you kind of have to do that all game, and those games feel terrible, and they seem like you're not doing anything, and you're totally useless, but this playstyle is fun. The whole like, I'm never gonna find cover because there is no cover. You see, like we held point so long that we had to switch to Doom, and then it's all just been chaos. So there hasn't been a real 5v5. So the loop that I mostly want to remember is the 5v5 loop, and those last like 3 fights were not 5v5s. So the non-5v5 fights, they're just chaos.
Sure.
You go out there, do damage, do random stuff, it's all fine. Alright, we still don't have a tank. And we got a kill even though we don't have a tank. All this still chaos. Alright, here we go. This is the first 5v5, although it's a 5v4 that we've been in quite a while. So what am I gonna do? They are, let's say, Monkey Genji. So they can still punish me if I go too deep. So I'm using my Moira as a retreat path. So I want to be within a reasonable range of Moira. I want to create an angle like this, shoot someone in the back. Make them want to turn around and get shot in the back. Stay close to Moira. I remember being so tempted to dash him because like and all is well. Round kind of over. I like to play overtimes the same way, like just be between their spawn and that, so that if they look at you, they're not looking at overtime. And like people will choose overtime over their own lives. Just get 2 kills.
I can't die. I've still got more stuff to see. Coming through.
Ta-da! So the first round, my strategy worked really well. Second round, it was much more like a combination of chaos and like a little miniature version of like stay close to the team, but also try to make a tiny angle, like soft angles. Anyway, good game.